Hi and welcome to this video on Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. This video is going to nitty gritty to an extent, but it's not going to be a long video or my typical length, which is an hour long. And I say that because my typical length is so you can pause and do your own thing. Basically, you have 6 videos in one, is why I do what I do. But the entire thing that I'm wanting to cover is how this game is really good. Just the one problem that is actually something that is genuinely a problem that no one even talks about that I've ever heard about is the programming. The game mode select. Okay, how do I put this? When you have that game mode selected, you can only do the basic stuff, which gives you the Bane set. And I am going to go into the sets because the sets are gorgeous. There's secret synergies that I'm going to get into. This game is fucking gorgeous. Now, Infinite Crisis. Infinite Crisis, when you're in Infinite Crisis, you can only get the Bane set and you could not even go to the next Nexus. A Nexus as in these. You cannot select them, you cannot do anything with them, which at base is a programming problem. It even says that you're meant to be able to do that in a pop-up instead of meant to be able to just go to Nexus, go to the next one, which would be very fun, but I think they fucked it up later down the line. I don't know if game mode was always a thing where you could always go to the next game mode or next episode, whatever episode is on, because as it stands, you have to go from that to get to Infinite Crisis, or to get to episode 8, Balance. But when you pick that, then you can get to the Nexus and pick the Nexus you want. But, and there's a lot of buts because of how this functions, when you pick that the Nexus you actually want, it will only be a cherry on top. The story is still episode 8 or whatever episode is on. And speaking of episodes, I really want more episodes. I really want more Nexuses because that's not it. There we go. Because of all of this, and they even skipped to with the episode we're on technically because episode 8. If you don't know, people complain about this game so much because this game is repetitive, it is boring, blah 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 blah. Sorry about that. That is a bottle or a racetrack cup specifically, plastic one. What was I gonna say? This game has so many cool things, and just so you know, I am recording my audio live as I am showing off different things because of how I'm editing this game. I'm editing it on PS5. I only have so many different pieces that I can actually like edit, and I just want to make the video as good as I can live. So sorry about this. Relatively speaking, whenever I can actually edit on PC, and I just need the cord to connect my console to my PC because I'll only ever play on console because I just prefer console overall. But that's fine. And with that, I actually play this game without aim assist. Just to clarify, because the game is fucking gorgeous, and it is not like playing, uh, what's it called? Immortals of Avium. Immortals of Avium is genuinely a very good game. It is a very good just aim trainer, if you can just think about it like that. Because every single enemy, you have no aim assist, keep that in mind, which is very good for training your aim in general. And I'm talking about console, just so you know. But every character, which makes it different in this game, every character has a pause. Every character has an animation to do attack. So you can easily say, oh, you're doing your attack, fuck you. You're doing your attack, fuck you. And just basically have that tempo, like how aim trainers generally work, where it's that pop up, shoot it, pop up, shoot it, pop up, shoot it. But instead of it popping up, it's running around, getting to a point to shoot you. Um, but that's why it's a very good aim trainer without aim assist, because everything has that pause, and if you have good control with your stick, you're able to dink them whatever you want to do, and there's different ways to fight them. This game, though, without aim assist, you don't aim at the dude you're punching up. You'll see. I'm going to show off a little bit of gameplay because each one of these characters I picked specifically to show off the movement, because the movement is genuinely really good. And very, very simple because it works off of 3 buttons. It is genuinely gorgeous how this game functions. But going back into the Nexus problem, because I never like just saying a problem without a solution. If they go into, and they as in the people that made this game, and I genuinely think that they could easily make this game pop off and just sell like hotcakes, because this game is genuinely good. Just some little nitty gritty pieces need to be adjusted, and this is the biggest problem. If instead of Infinite Crisis and the next episode, have it as Infinite Crisis is that episode, and you're able to go through the Nexus to pick the episode you want, and you go from the story. Because I do want to play this game for the story, even though, keep in mind everything I'm going to be talking about as a single player. I have not played this game with another person. I really, really, really want to, because this game is designed around at least 2 players. You'll see with the talents. This game is fucking gorgeous. Now, if the game mode select was instead of episode 8 and Infinite Crisis being or I keep saying infinite, finite. I like saying Infinite Crisis because it just sounds cooler. Infinite Crisis, and hell, it could be actually called Infinite Crisis at that point instead of finite, infinite, where it's all the episodes that they could ever release because they could even have more episodes than this instead of killing Brainiac. And the reason why I say this, why I talk about all of this, the main reason why I really like the story is because of Brainiac and how this generally functions. Brainiac in this game is not the typical Brainiac. He's God Brainiac. He's able to manipulate reality at a whim, at a thought. He's just able to do shit that genuinely makes it how are you fighting him, and that's what I really really want to see is genuinely how are we able to fight him, which is why I don't like it skipped and different things like that. Like it's this game is gorgeous. Just I think even the developers kind of got lackluster or unenthusiastic about making the game. And with everything I'm talking about, if they make Infinite Crisis and change that, I do think they should still have the game mode select. I think they should still have the game mode select, but instead of having like PvP, which is an easy snap on, boom. Because, and I say not having PvP because this game would not really work in a PvP situation unless it's like a MOBA where you're trying to get enemies to the enemy side, but like, I actually got the perfect game. What's it called? What's it called? Ghost of Tsushima, the Legends mode. There we go. Got the specific wordage. That game mode is genuinely really fun, and if you haven't played it, I highly suggest it actually. And it's free. At least it was free. Just the game mode, not the not Legends, the Ghost of Tsushima. That game mode is very similar to Gambit from Destiny 2, but with a very slash 'em up twist, where there isn't invading, there is sending blockers. It's generally awesome. I really like Gambit from Destiny 2. I and if you've ever heard about Gambit, it is not as bad as people talk about it. It is actually PV. It is Destiny. The amount of PvE to PvP is literally Destiny in a nutshell for what you need to do, which is personally why I fucking love it. And then with that, it changes overall balancing because the enemies, the everything works off of a PvP formula, so even the enemies function differently and everything like that. Like it's a genuinely gorgeous game mode if you actually play it and understand what has changed and how the overall sandbox changes with it. Because PvP versus PvE. And that is too much nitty gritty for this game. I just want to talk about that because Gambit is a very good example of what I'm wanting to introduce into this game, or introduce in concept, but not in gameplay because I can't do that. But having a Gambit like mode, and I mean Gambit like or Legends mode like, where's that general format of kill boys, dump thing, end thing to make extra big boys spawn on the enemy team or enemy side, where your goal collectively as enemy or ally is to get as many points as possible as fast. Something around those lines, something like that, but could have like a step removed or something like that, where it's a race to the finish, slaughtering everything. It could even have different modes. Because, for an example, I'm actually going to just upload, or not upload, play because and I do think a PvE mode with a PvP twist will be a perfect PvE mode or PvP mode for this game, and they can introduce other game modes like that. Like they could introduce a hide and seek. Like they could introduce so many different just weird things. And I mean hide and seek across like a good chunk of the map, maybe like a district at a time where they can swap districts, but with the movement and the overall like if you could change your look, if you could do something like finagle your hitbox where they have to shoot you, relatively speaking, but you could like hide in a bush. Just I am bush. um Now, this is always the opening, or this actually is a different opening than last time, which is interesting. Because last time I was over, I was gonna point like you could see me. Uh I was actually on that building, I believe, looking down at that building. Now I had actually fight. Why are you here? Okay, so you just allow me to select. Okay, cool. Thank you, I guess. Um, I picked these characters very specifically because of how each character functions. I'm actually going to show off their movement. I'm actually going to do the prestige thing because each. Okay, something amazing about this game. Each character has their base levels, which all their levels up different things like this and give them all sorts of crazy things overall to allow them to do some crazy things. Each character has unique movement, which this is their movement. Each character has the same general button inputs, but completely different movement for how it actually functions. But when you get each character to max level, there's squad skills, which squad skills change fundamentals. And these don't seem like a good or seem like that effective and all these different things, but this game functions off of percentiles, which is another big thing that I'm going to talk about later when I get into the nitty-gritty of the loadouts. Because the percentiles, even a 10% percentile will change fundamentally how it functions. Like for my shark dude, I can move better because I think it's like an 8%, 10% around there extra increase on something that you're going to see. It's very fun and funky on how it actually functions. And I say all of this from a Destiny gamer's point of view because I am a Destiny gamer. This game is basically Destiny with more and less steps, if that makes any sense, where there's some bits here and there and different things like that. That makes it a lot more unique and in depth at the same time. I'll comparisons, but not equivalents. Um, Wish I had something to drink. I actually do. One second. Sorry about that. I had to, relatively speaking, wet my whistle. Um, Now, uh, I'm showing off the specific characters in the specific order. I'm going to be showing off this dude because of the movement. I'm only going to be showing off the movement because this shows off a good, or for each character specifically, and I'm going to show off a character's loadout because of the uniqueness that I've done with it. But um, this character is very unique because he works with the bar system that you're going to see the most. The most in-depth bar system finagling that you can do is with this character. And keep in mind, every single character has 3 button inputs, relatively speaking. Not including the L2. L2, some characters have it, some characters don't, but there is always R1, L1, and X. Even this dude has R1, L1, and X, even though X is not shown there. X allows you to, while you're dashing around, and this is L1, this is R1, just to clarify, and this is ADS, L2. Now, if you just tap, and this is very fine-tuned mechanics, if you just tap L1, and keep in mind, just tapping L1 will be something you want to do as a, oh shit, as a panic, because instead of, like, say for an example, you're doing something, you're thinking about something, and then you see a big bitch about a thud on you, you say, oh shit, just 1 button input versus having the movement and then press X to have a higher jump, obviously way higher jump, which is very interesting comparatively, and I do want to show this off. And this also shows off how this overall movement functions because it plays with the bar system, and every character has that bar system, which allows it to have very samey feel, but a very good samey feel because each one plays with it so differently. Like the warning for an example, with this dude, you're basically able to fly, and I'm just gonna try and burn it this time. But when you get to warning area, you can only grapple, and when you run out, you can't dash, you can't do anything until you pop your ult. I keep forgetting that one. And then you're able to re-go, which is amazing for how this game overall functions. Now, I do want to show off and use these windows as a measurement, which is why I went here, versus this tap, which gets you there, to boom, which gets you all the way up there. That is a massive difference. And I'm doing this, making sure touching the wall doesn't change anything. I'm doing this to show off the difference between Boomerang and him, where they're very similar, but not even close to the same because of how they overall function slightly. Because same general concept, same general thing, because his R1 is a yeet, which pulls him to it. His L1 is a dash, but the differences are incredible. Now, first, just panic tapping allows you to get up a good bit higher than him, which can allow you to dodge things, avoid things, and just get up higher to get to a better vantage point to do something more, which is the pros and cons of this. Now, both of them, all characters have the ability to get up pretty easily. Some characters have a faster way, some characters have a slower way, which is another very interesting about this. Now, something that is not at all specified, not at all shown, not at all. You just have to feel this out with. I was gonna say Deadshot, Deathstroke, I believe. What's his name? Deathstroke. Okay, Deathstroke and Boomerang both have the cool ability to dash on a plane of where you're looking. I can actually show it off on Deathstroke, not Sharky Dude. Deathstroke. I'm going to show off Sharky Dude's movement last because his movement changes everything. Now, both of these characters work off of, and keep in mind, I'm just holding back with what I'm doing. I am just holding back and pressing dash. It is working off of a look input, where wherever your look is, that is the plane you are dashing off of, which allows you to have some very, very fine-tuned movement. Because, like, for an example, I can go up here, boom, boom, or didn't mean to touch the wall. And keep in mind, this is all meant to be in the middle of a combat scenario. So, say for an example, you're getting shot at, you're trying to dodge and just not get hit, but also see where enemies are. You can easily just see where enemies are, try your best to dodge them, and keep just dodging and diving and just doing all sorts of crazy acrobatic shit, which is very handy. And something I haven't even talked about, which is stretching it a little bit, and I'm not going to go into full detail. When you have a character like him, you can actually jump off of each dash, off of each grapple, which allows you to really stretch out the distance. It doesn't seem like you're getting a whole lot of distance per jump, and you're really not. But keep in mind how many jumps you're getting. I'm just gonna run out of this because I just really, really want to show off how many jumps you can get. It's just incredible how much movement is in this game, even though there is no point that the movement is really stretched to its limit. That is another thing that I really think should be introduced, like a third game mode of speedrun, where how well can you move with your selected character? And that could be how the leaderboards work, where it's Miss Freeze, Deathstroke, Deadshot. Each character has their own leaderboards. How good are you in this run versus this run versus this run? Kind of like Black Ops 3 speedrun, where there could be even be the first one that shows you off the basic movement, which with everything I'm saying, if they do implement half of what I'm saying, they should make it like a Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League 2 kind of thing. Like, I don't think they should add the 2, but generally a big hooray, this is a complete overhaul, complete remaster, remake, because there are some things that aren't that, how do I put this? Not every character, there's 3 characters off the top of my head that have the ability to do this. But they shouldn't be able to all do this with some degrees of differences. There should be something different. Like, for an example, Harley Quinn is able to, and I don't have an easy, or I do have an easy way. You know, yeah, since I'm talking about Harley Quinn, and this shows off the easy way to change your stuff, which will keep you where you are. Change your stuff as in change your characters, because you can only have 4 characters equipped at once. Don't know how it works in multiplayer, but you can only have 4 characters equipped at once, which allows you to have this setup to allow you to do different things. And something kind of cool about this, that is another nitty gritty that does need to be changed a little bit, is the AI of the different characters will actually help you. Like if you have, say, for an example, this on your boomerang or anyone, they'll actually use it and you're able to benefit from it every now and then. But you're not able to actually fine tune what they do, and they'll kind of not do it a lot. They typically don't even toss grenades or shoot or anything unless you're standing completely still, which is a problem with the AI. And I do think having an AI tab, we're able to say, Shark Dude, I have you built for blank, you do blank. You pick, like, say for an example, you have your Shark Dude designed to absolutely annihilate a specific range of enemies. You say focus these enemies at these areas in this general like blank slate of a format where it's not designed for Metropolis or any other city or any other place. It's able to be copy and pasted across the entire game, where it's who takes height, who takes middle ground, who takes low ground, who prioritizes what, who sticks with you, what weapons and what things do they actually have as a primary. Like for an example, my Shark Dude, his primary is his melee with a backup of his that which allows me to just absolutely annihilate things. And the goal with my Shark Dude is to have it up to 50 because of different bonuses that you can easily see if you want to. I'm not going to show it off because that's not what I'm wanting to show off. But up to 50, and then rinse, repeat of that ability because of how the loadout works. And that's just one key aspect of his ability set. His primary, his secondary, all these different things do come in handy for what I am doing. But the most fine-tuned one I have is actually Deadshot, that I am actually going to equip too. But I do want to show off Harley and Deadshot. Now, this game does have a lot of cosmetic choices, a lot of cosmetic pieces that you can just overall customize and change. Okay, I am going to go back to this menu to show off Joker because, or, I don't even have to show off Joker. Joker is another one of those characters that have the ability to aim down sights and float. The aim down sights and float is a very, very interesting mechanic, but not every single character needs that mechanic. Joker has the best mechanic of that, but with that, he kind of needs a grenade launcher. He needs something where he can just look down and thump, where he doesn't have to worry about accuracy as much because of how his traversal attack works. I actually didn't show off Joker now. Shit. Okay, I'm going to stop talking about Joker. I do want to show off how this character has a very unique method about floating and shooting versus Deathstroke and Deadshot, where they're literally the exact same. He actually can move a little bit slower, which is not good, where Deathstroke's is just better, and his movement is kind of just better. There shouldn't be a just better. Like, for an example, Deadshot should be able to move so much faster and have the ability to dash like you're going to see with what's her name? Lawless. Because Lawless has the ability to dash with her thing, but her entire, I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty of all that. That is so much that I'm wanting to cover, but it's really not needed. I'm just wanting to show off key pieces. Now, uh, that's her. Shit. I do want to show off Harley Quinn's because Harley Quinn's is a good example of how they can introduce that float ADS without a float ADS. And I do want to show off her buttons. There you go, and I do want to show off Deadshot's buttons because all these buttons do actually come in handy a whole lot. Now, Harley Quinn's movement is basically like Batman from any of the Batman games, but with this key feature, which allows you to have some pretty cool things overall. Which, okay, this is another one of the nitty gritties. Her set is fun, but the percentiles are not that big. Her percentiles like this needs to be like a 30, and that will feel a little bit better. Little things like that, because as it stands, Harley Quinn is fun, is very acrobatic, but does not pull her weight as much as any other character. Even Joker off the bat pulls his weight a little bit better than even Harley Quinn because of what Harley Quinn does, how it functions. Your problem as Harley Quinn, and I mean your problem as if you play Harley Quinn, is you don't have verticality. You have to work off of, like you just saw there, that noise you saw, that or noise you heard, that dan dan dan, was because I was trying to grapple. I can only grapple when something's above me. I can only do this once. The bar has to refresh, and then I can do it again, but that's really it. That key thing makes it where the movement is very lackluster, very hard to do until you have verticality above you, which you just saw the shark just fucking fly. And I do want to show off the shark next because holy shit, he breaks everything. I'm going to show off Miss Freeze. But each one of these characters are amazing for how they move, how they function, how they do things. And how they do things is the next thing I want to talk about because Deadshot, this kit is fine-tuned to hell and back. It is so fine-tuned. It is incredible, in personal opinion, because each one of these things is absolutely perfected. And I'm going to show off the key things of how this functions. And keep in mind, every single percentile, everything here adds up to what my build is. So please read everything because I don't want to go into every little nitty gritty because this build is insane for how it genuinely functions. And everything is basically perfected at this point. I don't know if I really want to change anything. And this shows off one of the secret bonuses. The True Face of Fury. That is a secret bonus that I had to have a Bane and a Two-Face equipped to get that bonus, which is absolutely amazing to think about, where there's bonuses that aren't stated. Because if I unequip that, I won't even see that bonus at all. It will not be there at all. It will not help me at all. It will just not even show. Like, I don't even see it there, even though that is half of why I have that. It's incredible how this game functions. Now, This is also another one that I just slapped on. And keep in mind, I didn't look these up. These just happened while I was feeling out how I wanted to play my death shot because of how this overall functions. This game is gorgeous. Um, Now, showing off the last two movements that I really do want to show off. And I'm actually going to change it up. I'm going to show off her or her and then my Sharky dude because both of these, this continues with the bar system, but the Shark dude breaks the bar system, and I think some other characters should actually break it similarly to the Shark. Excuse me, I had a burp even though you didn't hear me. Um, And with the change in like the Shark, I do think with what I'm saying of a Suicide Squad Killer Justice League 2, basically making it a complete overhaul of base mechanics, where some characters could even, like I'm suggesting with Harley Quinn, have changes to their overall kit, which if people haven't played it in a while, they can come back and completely experience it again. Completely have changes and tweaks and all sorts of different things to spice it up, which could really have some fun. Because, for an example, that I don't see how you could really do that effectively with Shark. You're gonna see, but going to her, her entire kit is very, very fun and very, very straightforward. You use ice, you freeze the dudes, and you don't stop freezing the dudes. That is her overall kit, her overall functionality, her overall thing, and I'm making sure I actually showed off her movement because her movement is very fun and very fluid with the ability. I do want to show off that. That is very, very handy for just movement in general, for getting to point A to point B, because all of, like I showed with Deathstroke, every single dash you're able to jump again, so you're able to loop de loop, boom dash, or boom dash boom dash. I had that off the wrong tempo, but you're able to get a little bit more distance out of it than if you just boost it. Sure, it looks like you're getting more distance, but you're just really getting faster, not more distance. Now, the coolest thing about her loop de loop that isn't shown at all is the fact that depending on when you jump out of the loop de loop, is what you're really going to be doing. All of that was just on loop to loop. I didn't do the slam maneuver that you can just do with the click of your dodge input, because there's even dodging in this game. All of that was loop to loop, and that is just fun with the ability to slide. That is just fun to do, not gonna lie. And it is actually faster than this. So it actually is effective to just loop to loop on the ground if you're on the ground. And let me try and do this. Yeah, you're able to do shit like that. The movement with her is just my personal favorite because it just feels like a skate game. You're able to just skate on the air itself and just have fun with it. Um, Now, with her kit overall, it is very straightforward because you have to freeze and do different things like that. And her kit is very straightforward in how you can really set it up. You can set it up in so many different ways with so many different play styles. It is amazing. Even though our main gimmick is freeze and keep on freezing, that is a good thing. I think some characters should also have that same general like flow with it. Because, like for an example, Deadshot or not Deadshot, Deathstroke. They both have, or not they both. He has the ability to burn, freeze, and he has different keywords that he's trying to build into. If he had, in my personal opinion, no keywords, no burn or anything like that, where his entire kit was based off of raw assassin, where it's I know what's best, kinetic, because kinetic doesn't worry about blank resistance and thinking about in generally like if you're trying to burn a robot, it ain't gonna work. If you're trying to use poison that's for a bloodstream on a robot, it ain't gonna work. Like thinking about that general system, but with the a gun, a gun doesn't matter. I can just shoot the robot. I can shoot the human. It doesn't. It's a gun. If it worked off of that general system, it'll be very fun, but very different than Deadshot. because Deadshot system is very similar to what I'm talking about. But I think both of them should have a very different way. Like for an example, Deadshot is very focused on headshots. If he was more focused on body shots, or Deathstroke was more focused on body shots and just really hitting the shots above hitting crits, where like and that would also help out with the his movement is very directional, where it's how to put this Deathstroke and Deadshot's differences in movement. Deadshot's difference in movement versus Deathstroke's is he is able to stay in the air, able to do a whole lot of just flight, where it's verticality and aerial control versus Deadstrokes, which I do think his ADS should be changed to something else if he even keeps that. But his overall movement, because of what I'm explaining, is very precise. Very, I want to get anywhere with the ability to actually run. His dash on the ground doesn't take anything, and he can just keep doing it indefinitely to just run anywhere, which no other character can really do effectively. Because, for an example, did the wrong input there. Miss Freeze, when you are not holding anything, you just do this. Where if you hold the dash input or I'm doing the dash there. When you are doing the dash for Deathstroke, you can just hold it and just run. You don't have to worry about anything and just have the input and just run passively, which is very handy versus holding her thing, which just goes up. But even on the ground, if you look up, you're going up. And you will actually do that with Deathshot or Deathstroke, but it's not that just up because of different things. Like, you can work around Deathstrokes a lot easier. Now, the other thing I'm talking about, I do want to talk about his movement, because his movement breaks everything. And I did intentionally not punch the thing, but intentionally stop my dive, because I do like using that as a different dive. I am just going to annihilate these dudes. Okay. His movement completely changes everything, and I'm getting called. Shit, that's my mom. 1 second. Again, sorry about that pause, and I'm actually going to keep that in because I do want to show off that it's not that bad to take breaks. Everything in my videos are on purpose, even when something like that happens. Because typically I do cut that out or make a new video or something. I do want to show that off because it's okay to just take breaks, even when talking, even when doing anything, and just respond to people. It's okay to do that stuff. Now, his movement completely changes everything, and the reason why I'm able to do it so fluidly, I think is the better word, where I'm able to get exactly where I'm wanting to, is because of specifically that the middle part of that specific thing. That 10% changes everything, and I don't actually have another one to show this off. You will feel the difference if you play this or have seen it. If somebody does not have that 10%, this movement is not as fluid and as fine-tuned because I'm able to get anywhere I want to easily. Like, I'm not thinking about, oh, how much charge I have. I'm just jumping when it feels right. And that's the best part about it. That's the coolest thing about it. It's if you're playing the character and thinking about the character, how they function. Like Miss Freeze is Miss Freeze. Keep on freezing. Sharky Dude is Sharky Dude, even though Sharky Dude can fly. I don't. He's not a land shark. He's an air shark, and I don't get it. But his shit is very fun and allows you to do some very good movements, some very good fine-tuned flying, basically. And it's amazing how it functions. And you're able to use that as a down. And that was my both top triggers. I don't actually know if I showed off his movement. Shit. Boom. Um, Now, the last thing I do want to talk about is how these missions are repetitive, relatively speaking. You're meant to keep playing them for the specific rewards it shows off. This is all items. This is all items. Hmm, that's not anything. Do these have all items? That's again. Huh. So they changed it to all items. That's just grenades. Okay. So some of them are all items. And okay, first thing about what I was wanting to talk about is each one of these modes and objectives you can replay to get the specific thing. Like for an example, this is grenades. This, if you keep playing it, you get shields and grenades and the specific set, which the set can then give you some bonuses depending on what bonuses it could possibly give you. That can even synergize because it is a infamy set with a different thing overall to make some pretty cool overall changes and cosmetics and not cosmetics. And speaking of cosmetics, I do think cosmetics should be something that gets overhauled. The ability to like change the coloring. We're able to have an overall like, for an example, my Deathstroke or Deadshot. He is all about craze, which is a green element, which is why he is green. If I was able to color the guns and the melee green, that'll make it so much better. But with the overall like the left side, technically for him, that burnt. Keep that burnt, but with the green on the other side, and keep that general look, but with the base coloring being green. If you could do something like that, like for an example, do you want to show this off? These guns, how they glow, how they have the weird cracking. If you could instead change it where it has all of that, but the coloring is different. Very similar to like Destiny 2 shaders. If you have not seen them, I highly suggest looking at them. They change textures. Like there's some that change it into cell shaded. I think there's one that changes into cell shaded. There's some that make it where it's like the galactic like uh Aether from Call of Duty, like the purple flowy skin that's always in Call of Duty. Typically, like you could have stuff like that where it's in even Destiny. There's stuff like that, but you could have stuff like that in this game where it changes the overall look, but not the feel, and different things like that. And for an example, this gun that I'm showing off, going back to it, changes, and I am going to put that back on her, changes the overall functionality of everything. Like I'm gonna show off the quick reload. It's very similar to like Gears of War, but this has the complete opposite because it's Bizarro, and that functionality is absolutely amazing and makes me smile because it's Bizarro. It's genuinely Bizarro. I'm actually gonna put her exact gun on her because I did the fine tuned, and it did equip automatically. Cool, hell yeah. Now, with all that said, shown and done, I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I will catch y'all on the next one because I don't have much I can really talk about extra. Just if they are. And this entire system, last thing, this entire system is genuinely amazing because you can actually change your battle pass, which gives you the ability to go back and do different things to get different amounts of anything in cosmetic choices, because all these different things have different cosmetics and all these different things. But something I'm doing is I already bought Lawless and the Joker. If I go to get all of these Luthero coin, no, Luther coin. There we go. I didn't see the R. Luther coin. Okay. That's actually pretty cool. So why is it penguin? Um, getting all that Luther coin here will then allow me to get all the not the Luther coin there, the Luther coin here to then buy another battle pass to then buy the next battle pass for free. Where I only spent like 30 bucks on this battle pass and this battle pass and each one of the characters because I haven't actually played enough to get each character, even though I've played this game for like 60 hours, something like that, going on 70, possibly 80 at this point, and I still haven't really done that much. Like, I don't even think if I actually got through the campaign because I didn't know I had to do the going to the next episode, and then picking the Nexus to have the cherry on top of the Nexus. And going back to the Nexus stuff, I do want to play the story. I wish I could actually have the story of the Joker where I could go through each mission in what it was meant to do. Where, like, for an example, right now, if I go to recommend a mission, that then allows me to boom instantly go there to do the next mission that I'm meant to be doing. And that is kind of how it's meant to go, but I'm only on episode 8 with the cherry on top of episode 1, which is the Scarecrow episode, which, or Joker at the same time. But that is something that should be fixed, where you should be able to just pick the Nexus, and that is the map itself, where you're not having two episodes on top of one another, where you're getting the rank or the rewards for that episode, and these are the rewards for the Scarecrow episode, which is amazing. Wait, oh, Battle Pass points, I'm guessing. Um, this game is amazing. I don't think I have anything else I can really talk about because this game has a lot you can really talk about. But um, with all that said, shown and done, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you on the next one. That was not. That is a shorter video, but that is 43 or 4. It is an amount of time that is 9 hours.